So I'm just going to show you a little sample piece here of how to do the backsplash. They're real simple. I'm just going to roll out the base coat on the top of the counter, not really dripping it off the front edge yet. We always tell you guys that. It's kind of a really fluid product right now. And then I'll start rolling up the backsplash, getting a thin coat of the base color, which is pearl white here on the backsplash. And then once I get the pearl white everywhere on the backsplash, the front edge, then we'll add the highlights, and I'll show you guys that. So I'm just removing some thick spots right below the backsplash edge there with the paintbrush, and then I'll do a quick roll over it to even it out. And we always say it's a good thing to swirl the tops before you add your highlights. This will kind of help bring any bubbles to the surface, so that's what I'm doing right now. So many different ways you can add your highlight colors. All I'm going to do right here is just do little puddles, and keep in mind the highlight colors go a super long way in when you're doing a white base, so you do not need very much. You can see I'm barely putting any out there. Once I get it out on the top, I'm just going to dab a little bit on the backsplash. You're not trying to pour a pile out or pour a bead out on the backsplash. You're just trying to get a little bit of color, and you'll see when I swirl this together how much it'll blend out on the backsplash there, and even on the top. That's why always start out with small amounts of highlights. You can always add a little more, but you cannot take it away. Now I'm going to swirl the highlight colors in, get the top all done, and then I'll blend the backsplash and the front edges in. And keep in mind, all these swirl lines are going to go away. The colors are going to be a little more vibrant. They look really muted once you swirl it because they're being covered in the base coat, but those colors will come back, and we'll show you that at the end. Doing the front edge. And then I'm actually adding a little extra color to the front edge. And notice how I didn't do that in the beginning. Perfect example right there is I can always come back and add a little color where I need it, but you cannot take it away if you add too much color. So now I'm just blending the backsplash colors in. It's hard to get the rollers right in that corner on the backsplash and the top, so I'm just going to use a paintbrush, kind of blend it in there. And then you're going to want to let it sit for a little bit, come back and check it, see if you got any runs in the backsplash or your front edge, see if you want to add a little more color. Here's another example, doing more of like some veins. You can see how we kind of ran some of the vein lines up from the top up to the backsplash, and then I'm just going along and adding a little bit more of the highlight color, and then he'll start swirling it, swirl the top, and then he'll do the backsplash and front edge as he's working down the counter. We're doing an international trainings class here, so a lot of this footage is some of the guys in the class doing some work here. So he's just swirling it, blending the colors, and then he'll do a little bit on the back, do a little bit on the front edge, and then work down as he going down the counter. He'll keep doing the backsplash and front edge. And you can see we're not using a lot of highlights. They're really thin lines. They're really small puddles if you use puddles, because it goes a long ways. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your highlights. This is Jose from Puerto Rico doing this countertop. They flew down for our international class, and this is his first time using epoxy resins, and he's coated this countertop, and it looks awesome. So for everyone out there that says we make it look easy and ask if it's truly that easy, well, this is Jose's first time, and he's making it look just as easy as we do. Remember guys, the product's doing most of the work for you. All you got to do is be able to roll it out, which anyone can do, and then swirl it around, and the colors are going to marbleize, it's going to flow together, it's going to be creating cool effects until it starts to get hard, which is over the next 8 hours. So usually you'll do your counter or your floor and you'll come back the next day and it looks 10 times better than when you left it, because that epoxy has been flowing and moving while it's curing out. Alright guys, so you saw us do the backsplash. We just kind of added the color, blended it in as we were doing the top, and then this is kind of how it looks. It looks awesome. If you get some really dominant run lines, you can take your paintbrush and kind of feather them out. But other than that, that's how you do the backsplash. So they're pretty simple to do. All you're trying to do is get the same color that's on your counter onto the backsplash. So here's another backsplash technique. We showed you guys a couple in this video. So we added the veins, added some veins on the back, we blended it, and now you can kind of see it's been about 10-15 minutes and we're starting to get some runs. All I'm gonna do is take my brush and just feather that out until it doesn't look like a run. And you might have to do this a couple times throughout the curing process until that stuff gets sticky and doesn't want to run anymore, but you can see how it gets rid of that run look. And you can blend it more or less, and then if you want to add some color, just take a little bit of the highlight. We'll add some like right here. Say you're like, man, we need a little more highlight. Get a little bit goes a long way with this coffee, and then just feather it in. And then when that blends out, it's gonna add some nice color right there. And that's it. That's really all you do on these backsplashes. They're real simple.